Okay. AJ, very, very good paper. I just want to make a few comments here. And I got to get this stuff out of the way. Here we go. Okay. Let's start with this picture of Henri Matisse. Okay. Let's see. Let me get my pointer. Let me get my little pointer. Okay. There we go. Now, um, you mentioned that this does not tell. This is the picture by Cartier-Bresson, and you mentioned that this does not tell the story of who Matisse was at the time. Well, I just wanted to fill you in that indeed it does tell a story. As you can see, Matisse is a bit older here, and actually these doves were a part of his general makeup in life and got incorporated into his work. As he got older, his sight began to fail, and he resorted to paper mache because he couldn't use a brush anymore. And look at this work by Matisse. These are birds. This is a bird theme. So he incorporated bird imagery into his work. He just made it a little more abstract, but these are definitely bird themes, avian themes. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Now, that's okay. I mean, we're here to learn. Eisenstadt's image, which I'm not including here, was less environmental and catching the decisive moment. So, as you will see as I talk about this, portraiture is kind of a balance. There's a spectrum. There's one way of looking at portraiture. It's a spectrum between the decisive moment and the environment. Youssef Karsh, Karsh, worked with the decisive moment, and he is arguably, well, I would say definitely one of the top 10 portraitists of the last 100 years. I mean, you got to go check out his work. Karsh. He used large format cameras to really catch the detail and the decisive moment that revealed his sitter's personality. So anyway, moving on. Okay, Newman. Back to Newman. Now this is, yes, I think you mentioned the law of thirds, and look how he placed Clinton between these two portraits. And he also employed a wide-angle lens. The wide-angle lens has an inherent distortion. It distorts foreground so that Clinton is exaggerated in size relative to, I don't think this is the Oval Office, but no matter. I think it's his cabinet room where the cabinet meets. But nonetheless, it's his environment, great depth of field. Wide-angle lenses have great depth of field. So he may have even incorporated a combination of daylight coming through these windows, hitting the side of his face, and tungsten light, or flash, which is warmer than daylight, which lit up this side of his face right here. That's what happened here. And here, the picture of Stravinsky, this is his signature portrait. This is what he is remembered for. As the story goes, he met Stravinsky in his hotel room. I think at the time he was 28, and back then Stravinsky was, well, Stravinsky. And this was for, I believe, Harper's Bazaar or Vanity Fair. I think Harper's Bazaar. And he asked Stravinsky if he would go with him to where there is a piano, a grand piano. I think it may have even been Carnegie Hall. So he had the kahunas to asked a great man to do this. I mean, he could have easily taken the easy route, just photographed him in his hotel room. So he photographed him at this grand piano, and if you notice, this looks like the B-flat signature. It could be seen as either the B-flat signature in music or as a musical note, only maybe backwards. And everything is very abstract. Look at the construction here. Boom, this triangle, this musical note, this musical signature, the rule of thirds right here, a gray rectangle and a lighter rectangle, and he places Stravinsky way in the lower left-hand corner. Very unconventional, but it's definitely an environmental portrait. And it's cropped. It's cropped in a very unconventional way also. So, and it's lit up only from one side. Basically, the one light hit the background, just catching Stravinsky here, almost losing the details on the shadow side of his face. So brilliantly done. Interestingly, Harper's Bazaar did not like the picture. It was never run, but Stravinsky loved it. It's time tested, and it's his signature piece. Fascinating. And finally, talking about Bruce Springsteen and Gregory Heisler. I worked for Heisler briefly as a freelance assistant back in the 80s. And he was young at the time. I was even younger. And Heisler had a nice sense of humor. He was very pleasant to work with. He was very friendly, very kind. He worked mainly in editorial photography. I think he did work for Time and Newsweek and a few other magazines. I don't know what he's doing most recently. I just know what he was doing at the time in the 80s. So he's been around for a while. I have to say, in this case, yeah, you have the guitar, and maybe this wall says something about Springsteen's personality. Springsteen's got kind of a scowl here. He's a bit, he's a bit of a scowl. So maybe Heisler had an insight into the man that I do not. But that's pretty much the analysis that I can offer here. The wall and the guitar. He sang a lot about towns in Jersey who had been neglected and are now being renovated. This might have something to do with it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Good paper, AJ, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care.